Mm, and I love that you brought up the workplace. Something that came to me when you set that up. Okay, it came to me. I'm gonna kind of just put this out there. Be observant of the feminine energies, the feminine
Yeah.
person that had to develop the masculine to survive.
Yeah. Say that again.
Be observant of the feminine energy that had to develop or create the masculine within them to survive.
Mm.
I've met people, this could be women or men, who are very feminine, but they had to develop this mask of strength and cut off and dominance to survive in relationships, to survive in the workplace. We live in a society where the workplace tends to reward masculine characteristics more than feminine characteristics.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend of mine who's, she's a partner in the firm, and she's like, I'm the only woman, and in this group of men, she said, Jimmy, I have to know sports. I have to know this. I have to know that. Like, I have to hang out with the boys. I have to do all these things. She's like, I do it because of my job, and this is what requires of me. And my clients, all of them men, they want to go, to the concerts. They want to go to the basketball games. They want to go to the football games. And I have to know these things in order to have the conversation. Otherwise, they won't take me seriously.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, she made partner, but the thing, learning how to separate that from when you go home, because sometimes you have to turn that off.
Yes.
You can't be that all the time, because and that's maybe you're going to get into this, learning how to, in the workplace, when to turn it on and when to turn it off. Work is work and home life is home life. These are my kids. This is my wife. This is my husband. It's time just for us to just be with each other.
Yes, that's exactly it. And when it comes to those feminine energy, those women that have the masculine, boss mentality at work, I've learned that they actually want a man that brings out the feminine in them. They tend to want a man that is enough of an alpha male that they can go and they can be a woman.
Yeah.
Be a woman, they can inherit those traits. They can embody those traits. Now, this isn't everyone, but the mass majority of women who are in this masculine strength, boss-like status, they enjoy it, but they want a man that's going to bring out the wife in them.
Yeah. And I was just I wrote some things down, and how, they were showing these different characteristics, masculinity is the arrow consciousness, moving forward, center focus, doing, action, moving forward, and producing results and goal-oriented. With the feminine energy, you're basically creating space.
Yes.
You're welcoming, you're loving, you're letting go, you're spreading yourself. It's the spreading consciousness, spreading or surrendering or letting go, or receptivity, in a place of being. So you can just be that feminine energy allows the other person to step in to just be without any other thing. You just be, so you can just be an experience and feel love. And when you're in that masculine energy all the time, it's for me, it's exhausting. I can be that as well, but when you have two masculine energies, always, it's dude, give me a break. I'm curious too, what work did you have to do in order to tap into that? How did you start to really recognize, what was the moment for you when you recognized, there's some kind of balance here that's happening?
Well, you mean for me personally?
Yeah.
For me personally, I would say that until about last year, I was 95, 98% such in a masculine confident state that Any bringing up emotions for me was like, they don't know, I'm cool. I got that in check. I don't need to face any of that. I was like, wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't really like a narcissist or anything. I was caring and everything. But in terms of me getting emotionally hurt, I would not talk about it. I don't talk about it. If something affects me emotionally, I just say, okay, here's my thing. I will cut off. If you affect me emotionally, my cut off will be so quick and so.
That was me too.
Yep. And I will text you.
God.
Like, you'll text me like, "What's up?" And I'll text back like, "Hey, whose number is this? Who is this?"
Ooh.
Like, and I'll.
Oh, you got called. You're like, oh.
Yeah. So my cutoff game was really strong, but I've realized that every time I cut off somebody, I kind of cut off a part of myself.
Yeah.
Because I did care about that person. I did have feelings. I did really care. And what really, really catalyzed all of this in terms of me facing my emotional self was over this past summer, I went to this week-long retreat in Gainesville, Florida. And it was called Sabatol, the Sabatol Institute of Transformation and Higher Learnings. And we spent about 7 days in these log cabins, and all we focused on was self-realization and human transformation for 13 to 15 hours a day. No cell phones, no MacBooks, no technology.
Wow.
It was just, I was wearing like sheep clothes, like very loose clothes, barefoot every day, eating nothing but vegan food, pure from the earth. So I really, really was in this like week-long retreat that really made me face those deep emotional things. And what I realized was that my entire masculine strength mask was nothing but a protector of the pain that lived inside me.
Yeah.
I had pain that lived inside of me from my childhood. During my childhood, I loved my mom absolutely to death. But my mom was single mom, 4 kids, 1 guy. 4 kids, 2 jobs, 1 guy. And she had this survivor instinct. And her having a survivor instinct, I didn't really get to witness as much as I wanted to of the loving, caring mother that'll rock me, lullaby me to sleep, that'll kiss me on the forehead. I always craved that. I lived with my dad for 10 years. And then when I went to live with my mother, my dad's like, yeah, son, your mother's gonna be so loving and caring. You're gonna have that. And I got there. She wasn't. Like we lived out of women's homeless shelters for 3 to 6 months out of my childhood. We slept at bus stops. We slept in motels. My mom, we had a babysitter. We slept and stayed at her house. Like she had to have on that survivor instinct.
Wow.
She was a very strong woman. But at the same time, though, me seeing the strength of a confident woman, that loving, caring side, I was still looking for that. I was still like, okay, who's gonna be that? And for a good portion of my childhood, I didn't really get that as much as I wanted to. So I kind of created this, okay, that unconditional love does not exist. This is a survivor's world. Thus, my survival instinct was born.
Oh.
Thus, the guarded, the strong, the cut off, that Alan was born. And I lived in that for so long. And people would say, Alan, we want to see more of your emotions. I didn't know what it was like to show emotions.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that? Like my mother was a survivor, and my dad is a Mac OG daddy. He's a Mac daddy.
Daddy.
Yeah, my dad is one of the most confident, most strong, most loving, he's a phenomenal man. But at the same time, he is definitely an alpha male. And I've seen an alpha male growing up, and then I've seen a mother who was a survivor. So that feminist wasn't showing me. So when I went into the seminar, there was this exercise where it was like, say everything that you want to say to your mother as if she's here in the room. And I started saying things like, hey, mom, love you, care for you. And then I started saying, well, I really wish I would have gotten an occasional I love you, son. Like a sincere I love you, son.
Wow.
Everyone
get some stuff up for me.
I really wish that I could have laid in your lap when I was small enough and you could give me a lullaby till I fell asleep. I really wish I could have you could have caressed my hair as I was falling sleep. I really wish I could have got that loving, caring mother. And as I started to go down that world of wanting that, I started feeling the pain of not having that a lot. And then immediately once I felt the pain, I felt this anger that came up. And I started saying, Mom, what is this? And I started going at it. I started going just infuriated with pain. All of this pain in me, like, you never thought about me, you never cared about my feelings and everything, you always do. I started just snapping. And then doing that, I was in this anger, and then there's this girl named Brielle. She came and whispered in my ear. She's like, Alan, you're in a lot of anger right now, but your anger is just covering up the pain, and it's okay to let the pain out.
And that was my first thought. It's like, if any man like listening to this, like, well, I don't want to do all that, but it's like, but it's so necessary, because it's like you have been holding on to that for so long, and you don't realize, God, like when you hold and suppress that stuff for so long, it does have an effect on you, and you don't even know that it has an effect on you. And that's the silent killer of men.
Yes.
Holding on and suppressing and degressing what's natural for you. And I mean, you just brought up so many things for me, just especially like bringing up like men's mental health, like just one of the things that really talking about things like such as like depression.
Yes.
And this masculine energy is the thing that's really want to say, no, I'm not going to show this. No, I'm going to hide this. I got to be strong. I got to be powerful. I am the hunter together. I can't show that I'm weak. I was, I know we have we both did the same transformational course, and I want to do like I lead sometimes some seminars sometimes, and this one guy, he wanted to do the course, and he's an older Black man, and he was just lingering around, like he said, I want to do this. He said, but I can't. I said, well, do you have the money or not? He said, I do have the money, I have the cash right here. I can drop the money right now and pay for it. He said, but if I give you the money, then I cannot send money home. I said, what do you mean? He's like, I have kids here in the United States, and I have family back in Africa, and they need this money. And the thing is, like, most people don't know that I'm broke. Like, his pride, he was so like in his masculine way that he would not, even when his friend offered to pay, he was like, no. Wow. Like, he was so just in this masculine, like, I'm the man, I gotta prove everything, I gotta show who I'm strong, I gotta do this, nobody helps you, this is what I have to show. I can't show my kids that I'm weak, I can't show them, they have to see that I'm strong. I said, but right now it doesn't make you less of a man. It's just right now you need help.
Yeah.
Like right now, and the help that you need, your friend is offering to you right now, and you won't even take it. And that's all his masculine ego just like would not let him take this course. Another reason why I'm like, going back to the mental health things, even I remember, like, you said something about your mom, and I remember I had reviewed the course, and this moment came up, and I was like, oh my God, like, I was supposed to get this scholarship when I was in high school, and they were like, they were gonna call, and we had to call this number to get all the application filled out and stuff like that. And my mom used to work nights, and so when they called, I was in school, and she took down the wrong number. I totally forgot about that moment. But that moment was a very defiant moment, because it was the moment when I started to resent my mother. And like all the fights, all the arguments, all the like her not being that feminine person for me, not like having me lay in her lap, hold me tight like that. And I was just like, it was all stuff inside of me. And I called my mom and I told her about that moment. She was like, I don't even remember that moment. I said, it really doesn't matter. I'm just sharing it with you. And I'm just like, I just really forgive you for that moment. She's like, okay. And in that moment, all this like repressed emotions came up. I was like, oh my God, like I had no idea, like me. And it was also that moment that kept me from like speaking up when I was dealing with things, when I was dealing with some depression, when I was dealing with things that bothered me. Because my mom never ever shared anything. Like she had to be strong. She had to show her game face. She had to be the hunter gatherer. Like she didn't articulate things when she's a single mother. So I don't think, she's not going to confide in me. You know what I mean? And that moment when you were saying too about like, Mom, you never said I love you. I had that same moment with my mother when I went away to this acting school. And I remember being on the phone with her, and she said, I love you for the first time. And I said, well, I'll say it back when I believe you. And because it was for me, I was going to this, acting school, learning how to be authentic, learning how to like tap into something real. And that was real for me. I was just like, I would not say I love you until I actually believe you, because the only reason why you're saying that is because I'm away and I might want to live here and I might not come back. That's the only reason why you're saying that. And my mother was shocked. And it took me 6 months to finally tell her that, and to believe her that she actually does love me. It took me a long time. It took us a long time.
Yeah, it took you a long time to get to that space where you actually believe you was actually receive that love from her.
Yeah, because I was like, no.
Yeah. There's a couple things I wanna. You when you talk, you just ignite things in me. And I'm gonna say one thing that kind of resonates with what you're saying, and I'm gonna say the second thing out of anger. Okay, I'm gonna let a little anger out.
Okay.
So the first one is, I definitely reflected, and I realized, I'm like, you know what? My mom did love me. Like there was ways that she showed me love that I had such an expectation of what it should look like that I didn't see that. Yeah. Like I love nice houses, nice neighborhoods. As a kid, I would visualize living in, we called it, not to be racist, we called it the white folks neighborhood. Like that's what we called it. Because we lived in an area that was majority Black, and I would have lived with the white folks. And I was thinking my mom. And she, as a kid, she knew what I meant by that. And so she did all she could, and she moved to the closest she could to the white folks neighborhood. It was like 2 blocks away. And our house was okay, but on the other side of the train tracks, I would walk in the mornings and be like, wow, I live with the Hamptons and the nice houses. And I didn't realize this. She was like, Alan, we moved on Kirby. The street was Kirby. She said, we moved there only because of you. I have 4 kids, but I knew you wanted to live with the white folks. So I moved to that neighborhood because of you. And it was hard to get that house. Like Section 8.
Wow.
Section 8 is not accepted everywhere. And that was one of the places I could finally find. And I did all of that for you. And it really hit me. I'm like, wow, I guess she did love me.
You guess. Yeah. Wow.
So that was that. So that's the first aspect, is that sometimes love can be given, but our ability to receive it and perceive it is a whole different.
Yeah.
The second thing is, I'm gonna practice a little bit of anger. There is way too many single mothers in our society.
Yeah.
There is way too many single mothers in our society. A single mom household, it's possible, but it is not natural. It is not natural for a healthy human being to be raised. It really, really helps when there's a complete household or a village to help raise that child. I am so sick of meeting single mothers who are working day in and day out to raise their children, day in and day out to support themselves, day in and day out to find a good man, day in, day out to feel heard and understood. And I was just speaking to a friend last night. I'm not going to say her name, but let's just call it a star angel. I was speaking to a star angel just the other night, and she was telling me about how she's reaching the end of her rope when it comes to not only raising her kid, but also dealing with the kid's father, who is a little abusive, who is a little controlling and dominating and everything. And it made me really emotional because she's the most delicate, most loving, most beautiful woman. She's a phenomenal girl. And yet she's dealing with a mate who doesn't really want much to do with his son, doesn't really want to get to know him, kind of just there. And it's nothing, I'm not saying like everyone go against them. I'm not condemning them or anything. But what I'm saying is that the part of me that doesn't feel like it's natural. Like I don't have any kids, but if I had a child, my priorities would change.
Right. It's you know, it's called responsibility. Like you have a child, like you don't get no pass. Well, I don't feel like no, you gotta raise a child, like whether you know it or like it or not. Like it is your child, whether you're together as a couple or not. Like get to a place where you can be together as parents. You can co-create and raise this child. And it's so interesting you bring this up too, because my cousin feels the same way. I mean, she literally stopped dating men. She raised all 5 of her kids by herself. And she's like, you know, now all of them out of the house, she's, you know, by herself now. And she's like, you know, she calls me by my nickname. And she's like, I don't know what's up with these men here in Florida. She was like, they just don't want to do the work. And she's like, you know, and as I was talking to her, I was like, oh, like a lot of men that you're dealing with don't want to do the work of themselves to heal themselves. They have this like macho attitude around from her words, she's like, there's a lot of men still with this old school mentality, and they think that I'm gonna sit here, I work 2 jobs, and you want me to come home and cook and clean for you, boo, and you just sitting up here playing video games. She's like, no. And I met another woman the same way. She was like, you know, she has 2 kids. You know, she's working, you know, all day, and you want to come over her house, play. Like she bought a Xbox so he could come over, but then he comes over and play games, and now you want me to cook. I'm like, but you didn't work all day. You don't have 2 kids. Like, can you come over and cook for me? Like, or like, it's just like this old school mentality that are really hurting men, and you don't understand. It's going back to again this whole masculine and feminine energy. Like when you tap into that, you know, you're being open, you're being welcoming, you're like, oh, like you're being sensitive to what when she walks home, or when she comes home, or he comes home, like, oh, they may need something. What is going to make that person happy right now? Like, what do they need? Maybe they need silence, maybe they need a bath, maybe they need food to be cooked. Like your receptivity and your openness to that person's need is much is amplified when you are tapped into that other side of you, which all of us have. But some of our ego and our masculine ego would not let men really just be that opening for their partner.
Yeah.
They're just holding on to it.
Yeah.
As if they're going to be weak. It's like, no, we're not saying you're weak. It's like, it's you tapping into being a whole and complete person. Like tapping into this other power, really, that we all have to just give you power and access to like, just some juicy love. You know? You know what I mean? It's a real power that we all have.
And I want to see, I'm gonna start getting into the controversial realm a little bit. And because I don't want to just be like this, men are just treating women bad, it's just the men's fault. Because I'm a man too, right? So just looking through my experience and through coaching and everything I've done, I've realized that it's not a matter of men, but we have a lot of unhealed boys.
Yeah.
Unhealed boys from their childhood, and a lot of these unhealed boys are from single mother households. And now looking, it's kind of like this web. It's like the single mother who's a survivor, who's a fighter, who has to be strong, is not as able to give that unconditional love to the boy. So the boy grows up without that unconditional love. He becomes this masculine, feminine, I mean, not feminine, but this masculine, like feminine dominating type of man. And he has unhealed things from his mother. And then he finds a girl, they have a kid. And then next you know, the kid is now suffering from that household.
Right.
It's like this web where the women are affecting the men and the men are affecting the women. The mothers are affecting the sons are affecting the daughters become mothers, they affect the son. It's like this web that's going on. And I wanna look at, like, what does it look like for us to really start supporting single family households? What does it look like to start supporting, like, not even for the sake of just doing good for the mother, but thinking of the child's future in mind?
Yeah.
Like, when a child grows up and if he's starving for either to see the masculine side or see the feminine side, and if there's an imbalance, he's going to manifest that imbalance, what he was starving for in his relationships, in his or her relationships. This is why men tend to attract women that are like their mother. This is why women tend to attract men that are like their father.
Yeah.
Because if there's something that's incomplete on a human soul, incomplete, the soul will manifest experiences to try to get that complete.
Yeah.
So it's like we move out of our childhood home, but our childhood home does not move out of us.
Right. As Gabriella Bernstein would say, she's the author of The Universe Has Your Back, is that universe is going to keep bringing that lesson back over and over and over again until you learn and heal from that moment. It's just telling you there's something here that you need to learn from. There's something here you need to heal from, and you need to look at this. Like, your unwillingness to look at the hurt and the pain is what's causing you to keep having the same man fall into your life, the same woman back into your life over and over and over again, and as a lesson to be learned. And I'm glad I've learned that so long ago. Like, I'm just like really grateful that I had the opportunity to like really look at those things, because it's like, and it's so freeing when you just learn from those lessons and just heal, and your capacity to love just expands. And like, as you were talking, I'm not sure if you saw the new Kevin Hart mini documentary about him.
I haven't seen it.
No, he's a really good example of masculine and feminine energy. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to be hard to believe, but because I used to like, oh God, he's so cocky and masculine, and I was just like, oh, it's just so ugly for me. And then when you see him come home to his wife and his kids, he's different. Like, he just becomes soft. He's become this like loving and nurturing person. And even when his mother kicks the husband out of the house. They wasn't married, but he was, because the dad was all into drugs, stuff like that. And the dad still today has this really macho, like, sort of grit. And so when Kevin Hart is dealing with him, Kevin Hart is like just very soft. He was like, Dad, like, we don't have to do all this. What do you need? I'm here for you. Just tell me what you need, and I got you. Like, he becomes this like soft person, just ready over his kids. Like, if you see him with his kids, it's just like, wow, like I just see a whole different side of him. But when he's on stage, he's that man. Oh, I get it. Like, this is what he needs to be for on stage. This is his masculine side. But when it comes to his wife and his kids, it's like even with his staff, he's like not dominating them. He's open, he's listening, he's receiving, he's responding, and it's like, wow, his staffs loved him. Like, they even like, he just is just such a really great example of a man who, he didn't say this or not, but I just feel like he understands this masculine and feminine energy. And he even says, I'm not damaged from what my father and my mother did. Especially his father. He was like, I'm good. I've done the work. I don't need to be angry. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I've dealt with that. And it's really, it gives you such great power when you deal with that. And the type of man you are become for your wife, or for your husband, or for your kids. It's just like, it's just life changing and life altering, you know.
It is. It really impacts more people than just ourselves.
Right.
And so what I have here is I have a document that I like to go over really quick. I feel like it really help a lot of people. It's from this book I'm reading called Beyond Mars. I don't know if you see it, Beyond Mars and Venus.
Okay.
The author of Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus reading this. So
I have the book. I haven't read it yet, but is it good?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's really good. The Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. This was the original one, and then this is the updated one today. And I want to list 12 characteristics, and people can hear this and they can determine, like, are they more masculine or are they more feminine? And by the way they resonate with each of them, they can kind of keep tally of which ones they're more of. You can do this along as well as I read on. Okay.
Right.
So masculine feminine test.
Get a little education here.
Okay. So when it comes to the masculine feminine, there's 12 characteristics that the masculine will tend to do, and then the feminine will tend to do. On the masculine side, masculine will tend to be more independent. Okay, more independent, more me. The feminine will be more interdependent. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. Masculine, independent, feminine, interdependent, or cooperative. The masculine side will tend to be more detached from things. Very detached, don't really care, don't really attach. The feminine side will tend to be more emotionally involved in things. Like the masculine side can go out and play basketball and win and take the win and not think much of it. The feminine will go out and play basketball and think, how many friends did I make from this? Is it okay that I won? Is okay? So it's detached, masculine, feminine, emotional. The masculine side will tend to be more of a problem solver. Let's get this taken care of. It's a problem solver.
Yeah.
The feminine side will be more of a nurturer. This is a problem we're in. How does it make you feel? Masculine is a problem solver, feminine is nurturer. The masculine side will be more tough. Chisel up. We know this. Don't talk about emotions much. Tough. The feminine side will be more vulnerable about things. Masculine side will be more competitive. He's trying to try me. I gotta survive. I gotta beat that person. The feminine will be more cooperative. The masculine side tends to be more analytical. How does this make sense in my mind? Does this work? The feminine side will be more intuitive. Mm-hmm. How do I feel about this? Does this feel right? Okay. The masculine side will be more powerful. We have to be the best. We show our power. We have to display this. The feminine side would be more loving. Okay. How many people are loved here? Is everyone playing with me along as well? The masculine side will be more assertive. This is what it has to be. This is the way it goes. The feminine side would be more receptive. Hey, how do you feel about this? Does this work for you? More receptive. Masculine side would be more competent. We have to be the best. This has to get done right. The feminine side would be more virtuous. More virtuous. This is something that's best for all of us. This is okay. Masculine side would be more confident in terms of like confidence, general confidence. The feminine side would be more trusting. Trusting of the other. Last two. The masculine side would tend to be more accountable on things. Hold me accountable. The feminine side would be more responsive on this. How does this show up as this? And the last one is, when it comes to the masculine side will tend to be more goal-oriented. What are the accomplishments? What are the goals that we have set forth? The feminine side would be more relationship-oriented. Is everyone here cared for? How many friends I make? How many people connected? So people can rewind this and replay it and kind of keep tally of which ones resonate with them more. And obviously the one is more, they can kind of know, are they more masculine? Are they more feminine in terms of all this? Kind of get an idea of this. I feel like it's important for people to know these 12 aspects, because now that they know aspects of themselves, when they see them aspects in others, they'll know who their potential mate is.
Right.
They can stop just dating just because someone's fine or someone's hot. Now attraction can be something that our mind plays a role in it as well. Our consciousness plays a role in, okay, I'm attracted to this person right now, but I know to create a long, fulfilling relationship, there has to be a balance between the masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
So
And
it
this,
can, I feel like that, yeah, many divorces can be prevented if people were just conscious ahead of time.
yeah, and it's really, going back to the beyond therapy set thing that I impact theory that I saw the other day. He was like, not his regret, but he wished that he would have known about masculine and feminine energy earlier. He said, but he was grateful that him and his wife both understood it. He said it just really gives them much more leverage and power in their relationship, and they know how to work with each other. Each podcast and video that I watched, prior to doing this podcast with you, learning. Even this one professor, he was saying how he's been married for 42 years, and I was like, wow. And he was like, because we understand this aspect of the energy within all of us, this is why my marriage has lasted so long, because we both have this understanding of how to use our masculine and feminine energy within a relationship. And he's like, according to him, he was like, we're just as vibrant as we were when we met in high school. They met in high school and they've been together for 42 years. And I was like, wow, that's really something to look up to, and admire, and something to look as an example for all of us to really understand that dynamic when it comes to finding our next partner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. It's I always say that I am an extreme admiration of a couple married 42 years, 44 years. That's phenomenal. But at the same time, I want to shine a light on the couples that didn't last as long. Yeah. And what I would say is that our number one goal in relationships, the number one success of relationships is not how long they last, but who do we become while we're in that relationship?
Right.
Who do we become? There's relationships that'll be 3 months long and people learn so much about themselves and grow so much. And then there'll be relationships that'll be 3 years long and not much has changed since high school. And then like there'll be that golden nugget of what you just told me, where 42 years and both are fulfilling, both are thriving. Human happiness is one of the, how should I put this, is one of the side effects of human growth. So when I hear a happy relationship, I hear a relationship that causes both people to grow.
Yeah.
And that right there is one of those, like, I am applause for them 100%. It's all about growth. And then there's some people out there that if you're in a relationship and you know you're not growing, I'm going to sip my tea and just say that your soul is always going to go towards growth. You're going to get this nudge. Yeah. The universe is very creative at finding ways to get you out of that circumstance if you're not growing. But the key is to walk out of the burning house before the fire burns you.
Right.
Walk out before it burns you.
And a good relationship is there to grow you. Even Gary Zukav talks about that. I think it's this book called this soulmate relationships, and he was like, when you're in a relationship that is there to grow you and teach you, he was like, and they're both on the show. They're actually, both of them came to one of my classes. Him and his wife, when I was getting my certification, he was like, when you're in a relationship that's out to help you grow, he said, some days it is not going to be fun. Like, it's not pretty when my wife, like, saying that you're not in a receiving place right now. Like, it really pisses me off, but I know she's right, but she's not doing it to like be vindictive. She's absolutely right. Like, I can't be with her if I'm in my ego or am I just like tough man guy. He was like, a good healthy relationship is there to grow you, and is going to shine light on some things that you don't want to see. But when you both understand it, that was the thing, that they both understood that they got less angrier. They fought. They don't really fight. They know that this person is out to look for my best interests and out to grow me, and not trying to manipulate or or put me down. Like she's bringing something, he or she's bringing something to my attention that I need to look at in order so I can grow, so I can be the best version of myself for my partner, because they're doing the work, so I'm doing the work too.
Exactly. And I love how you tie that in together. It's not about just trying to grow them. It's about us doing the work ourselves.
Right.
Doing our inner work. We cannot grow someone beyond where we've grown.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And so it comes down to, we can only help people to places that we've been or we're becoming or we're going. So it's important to make sure we're doing our inner work. Like I tell this to people all the time, you don't need to find your perfect soulmate. You need to become your perfect soulmate.
Yes. You need to become, we say that again, you need to become that person.
And
yes.
then once you become that, you will attract everything into your life that reflects that, even if that's a perfect match.
Yeah.
In terms of a mate and everything.
Amen.
Man, we have so many women that wants to have a marriage, but have you yet become a wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have so many men that say, I want to have a family, or so many men that want this, but have you become a husband? It's about becoming the role or becoming the person that we want to show up as, and we'll attract everything that reflects that.
Right. And it's work, and it's literally with the people who are already in your life where you start to practice those tools.
Yes.
You know, and it takes some real looking and searching, like, who do I need to become to be? If I saw me walking down the street, would I want to marry me? Like, I mean, that's the question. Like, do I have what it takes to be in a healthy relationship? Yes. Do I have some work needs to be done? Look at my current relationships. Are we thriving? Are we having real vulnerable conversations, or are we always having surface level conversations? Or can we go there? Yes. Can I be there for that person? Can that person be there for me? Like, what is my current state of my current relationships, and how are they healthy? Are they good? I mean, sometimes it's good to even ask those people, and sometimes you don't want to hear like the feedback you get from your family and friends. But for me, I did it, and it was very triggering, but at the same time, it showed me like, ooh, I need to grow. I got some growing to do, some things to work on, you know. And I did my work, you know, and the result is I have, you know, great relationships around me because of that work.
Exactly. You know? You'd be surprised at, like, it's surprising in terms when it comes to men and women, but a woman's father will prep her for her husband more than she can ever know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like I would say, like, your dad, the things you're learning with your dad, how to deal with your father, all of that stuff, processing, is actually prepping you for your next man more than you know, because you're taking advantage of that. And then if you don't work on it with your father, you're going to attract a man that's just like your father to mend that.
Right.
And the same thing goes for guys as well. Your relationship with your mother is prepping you for your wife more than you can ever know. And mind you that there's some people that don't want a wife, that don't want that, and that's perfectly fine. We can just say mate, or we can just say partner, or whatever works best for them. But I really, really feel that a lot of people escape their family, and they feel like they never have to go back. I feel like when it comes to that dynamic, if you have a family that you just don't resonate with, it's okay to escape to find yourself. Escape to find yourself, to create yourself, but then in some energetic way, come back to possibly help them now.
Yeah.
No, it's hard to help them when you're living in their household, because they have this, you live in my house, I control you, you pay, you need me. But when you've created your own independence for yourself, then you can say, hey, mom, dad, I love you, I just want to help. And sometimes they're not willing, they're not open, they may never be willing or open.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We can love them just the way they are. We can love them. You would not believe how how much more I love my mom when I accept it. Like, you know what? My mom is my mom, and that she's perfect the way she is.
Yeah.
You know, maybe she's not going to come to all of the motivational conferences with me. Maybe she's not going to turn into this like Mother Teresa, love everyone. I don't know. Maybe. But the way my mom is now, I love her. And once I surrendered that need for her to change, I changed.
Mm.
Once I surrendered the need for my mom to change, I changed.
Wow.
And now I can show up in her life.
Showing up. Beautiful. Well, we're about to wrap up here, Mr. Allen. Any last words you would like to impart on these people, these wonderful people who are here listening?
Yeah. I'll just conclude with, just follow your heart. And this was a very healthy conversation. And if anyone want to connect with me in any way, it's just Alan Little with a little motivation. Like I said before, I'm a TEDx speaker, and also having an accredited life coaching practice. You know, life coaching practice now is accredited through Better Business Bureau.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The life coaching practice has now been accredited through Better Business Bureau. I've met the CEO of the Better Business Bureau here in Kansas City, and I got that accreditation about a month ago now.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk after this.
Yeah. So anyone that's out there and they are looking to get in touch more with their complete selves, and they're ready to show up in life, and they're ready to change their inner voice in them, feel free to connect with me. They can just go to rethinkbig.org or on Instagram, Allen J Big, ALLENJBIG.
Mr. Big.
I'm little.
Yeah, man.
Big.
And I just really thank you for bringing us to forefront, man. And I just, talking to you, I don't know, you're just bringing so much energy and power and confidence and vulnerability, and I just really enjoy just doing things like this with you, and I just can't wait to do more with you.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it, man. You the man, Jimmy. You the man.
You're the man.
You always stay that dynamic.
Yeah, man.
Kobe.